Welcome to the final reread. Yes, we are finally here. This is the last 6 issues, issues 13 through 18 of the Legacy 2 series, and the end of the expanded universe era as we know it. On issue 13, on a planet Solo is pursued, another bounty hunter is captured she's captured by this bounty hunter, the bounty hunter with the mask that turns out to be the prison guard, and Ramid comes to her rescue at the end. And then in issue 14, we find out that they have to hide underneath the speeder bike because it starts raining. And on this planet, it rains glass. That's really weird, but it was kind of interesting. And that's where they kind of hash out Ramid and Anya kind of hash out there. You left me for dead. I thought you were dead. How was I supposed to know you were alive? They hash out their issues a little bit like that. Anyway, the bounty hunter comes back, tracks them down to kill them, or I don't know, to capture Anya, I guess. And oh, by the way, the prison guard actually killed the Imperial Knight and took the name Anya Solo, which is why the bounty is on Anya Solo. And she set Anya Solo up for the fall. So Anya Solo will, be executed for, killing an Imperial Knight, while she'll get off scot-free for it. So it's just the old switcheroo for her. That's the big hook there, I should mention. And later on, as they escape, she makes it out into the rain, which has now gone from glass to acid. What kind of planet is this? But again, that's very interesting. I kind of like that. Now, eventually in issue 15, AG-37 will find her and says, close your eyes, keep your head down, like keep covered, because he's getting hit with acid and it's going to really hurt him. So she's going to have to switch him off so he can power up and save his power. And of course, that's where, the other prison guard, I don't know what her true name is, goes after her. But, and then of course she'll meet, I believe she meets her death. I can't remember. Either way though, she gets after, I think she dies because they cut off her arms or her hand or something. Either way, she's got artificial limbs, by the way, this other Anya Solo, the prison guard. And at the end of this adventure, she gets arrested. She gets put in a court, which is like 3 pages long. Imperial Knights, Val is giving her, he's like, hey, I can speak to her character. I don't think she'd do this. And they say, well, we need proof. And so, of course, Zhao comes in and he proclaims the proof. He's got the artificial hands that activated the whip that killed the Imperial Knight. And they're like, oh, okay, you're off the hook. And so she's happy. But now Zhao, remember, he was a deserter. And now he's been put in jail just for showing up and defending Anya. And now he is going to receive the death penalty. So that's kind of where they leave on issue 15. And again, pretty good. Now, at the end, Darth Wredd is there. He appears to Zhao in the prison cell and is going to make him an offer. And that's kind of how it ends. Because how did Darth Wredd get in there? I don't know. Wouldn't that be awesome if his name was Darth Dread? Anyway, issue 16, the Empress tasked Solo to find Zhao because he has escaped. They don't know where he went. And so she's given a crew of new Imperial soldiers, which look like they're all Barabels, which I thought was kind of fun. And meanwhile, and this is the majority of the issue, Darth Wredd gives his past history to Zhao. And he used to live on a planet. He used to be their defender. He had the Force, but he didn't know it. He felt like he was a Jedi Knight. He had an iron sword, but he wasn't really a Jedi. And then the Sith invaded, and he was nothing to the Sith. And so the Sith killed his planet, and that is the little ghost planet that kind of is free of its universe, its stratosphere, and it kind of floats around willy-nilly in space. That's his home planet that's been destroyed. His family, his friends, everyone's dead. And of course, that anger made him a Sith. Now, at the same time, he knew he wasn't powerful enough to kill his master. So when Imperial Knight Val landed on the planet and his master was occupied with fighting the Imperial Knight, that's why Darth Wredd went behind him and stabbed him in the back, because he knew his skills weren't as good as his master's. And that's why the Sith goes, wait, Darth Wredd the apprentice in the very early in the issues there. And the thing is, we find out he's not really that intimidating at all. He's kind of a coward, kind of a backstabber and whatnot. But and we go to issue 17 and they find the dead planet, dead wandering planet. They go on there and now there's the army of Sith. All the Sith are there. Why? I don't know. They're all there to kill Darth Wredd. Why? Because supposedly Darth Wredd has been killing them over the past few weeks, months. Now, again, I can't blame the writer here because she knew the end was coming and she had to wrap this up really quick. So I'm sure we would have seen tons of issues. I imagine that Darth Neal and the new Darth Warlock, because his daughter escapes in the last series. I'm sure we would have seen a few more familiar Sith from the first series come back, and them killing a bunch of Sith along the way. All of it's leading to Red, who wants to kill them all, and he wants to establish the rule of two. At least that's what he tells Zhao, and Zhao thinks, oh, you're trying to make me your apprentice. No, it won't work. Every Sith wants power for themselves, right? Well, in issue 18, we find out that Darth Wredd just wanted to end the Sith Empire, just end the Sith. He wanted all the Sith to die. Now, of course, the Imperial Knights come down, the Jedi come down. There's this big old battle at the end. This is the last comic book ever we're going to see chronologically here. And so they just wipe out all the Sith. They say all the Sith to die. Now, there's slain people on both teams here. Both armies have suffered losses, but the Sith have been totally eradicated. Darth Wredd is the only Sith left, and he pretends to kill the Empress. He does not, but he does it so that Zhao will kill him and end the Sith. He hates the Sith so much for killing his planet, he just wants them all to die, and he knows he's a Sith, so he must die too. But if Zhao kills him, Zhao will fall to the dark side. I don't think he said he would be a Sith if he killed him. But Anya Solo has no qualms about shooting him, so she shoots him off the cliff and he dies, thereby ending the Sith. Now, of course, you have to have an ending here no matter how rushed it is. I do not fault them for rushing the ending. I am proud that they did this. It ends with, the world is safe, the galaxy is safe. There's a little cameo by Cade, Sin, and Blue. And then it ends with them. Come on, they're on the run. We got to go. We got the missing part. Let's go. And Anya Solo's on the run. Now, I'm glad that they ended it. I know it was rushed. I knew it was rushed when I first read it. Reading it again, it is very rushed. But again, I will not blame them for this because they had to get an ending out. I mean, bless them. They didn't just leave it, on a cliffhanger, hoping one day they'll finish it up, or maybe telling a bunch of stories about how it should have ended. No, they gave us an ending. And of course, I love the phrase where the Imperial Knight turns to the Empress and goes, "It's the end of history." And that's signifying this is the last book. This is the last of the EU. And she goes, no, history has a way of continuing. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. I loved it. I love the ending of this. This one, Legacy 2, way better ending than Legacy 1. Way better ending, not counting Legacy War. But even if it was counting Legacy War, it's a very good ending for the Legacy series. And I'm proud that even though it is rushed, I won't blame them for that. They gave us a powerful ending. Overall, Legacy 2 is fine. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see what AG-37 was. And according to the author, even though she said this wasn't canon, I believe it would be. In her mind, Anya Solo is, Cade Skywalker is running from his destiny and then has to accept it at the end. What she was going to do with Anya Solo was she's going to her destiny. She is a Solo, right? She even quotes Han a few times. Never tell me the odds. She said, I always say that. And someone goes, you've never said that, Trent. Feels like I have. Because they're hinting that she's a Solo. But the big twist was going to be she's not a Solo. And so she has to walk away from a legacy of which she thinks she had. And there's something that the Empress, I think, wants to tell her. And that's the case, is like, you can't be a Solo. There are no more Solos. And that would have been great. And in my mind, that is canon. I think that's wonderful. And, to see her broken, that, and that she's not a Solo, but she can be her own person instead, that would have been an awesome ending to this. So, I mean, and of course, the ending probably would have been something like we got in the rushed 18th issue there. But overall, I think it was going toward a better ending. I even had faith that this story would get better as we have more Sith introduced and, more returning Sith and they get killed. It's kind of tying up all those loose ends. I'm almost positive I probably would have liked it more. It probably would have gone 50 issues and then gotten another war, because we always got to end in a war. But and 18 issues is a hard. I mean, she maybe got 3 story arcs in there, and so it's hard to kind of introduce your good characters. Maybe she has some other characters in the wings she didn't get to introduce. I mean, there's a lot of ifs here, so I'm not going to come down hard on it. I will say overall it's fine. Like I said, the ending I loved, even though I know it was rushed. But that's it. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with all of these books, with all the comic books, with all the short stories. Folks, thank you so much for joining me on my very long journey of rereading through the entire EU. When will I do it again? Probably another 20 years. And I'll see you next time with something different.